I want to show you a brief example of the kind of tests and treatment that you might get when you go to a chiropractor. Obviously, all practitioners are a bit different, but this is quite standard. This is my lovely wife Lucy who's volunteered, and I'm doing muscle testing with her, meaning I'm asking her to push her leg up against resistance, seeing if there's normal strength in there, and if it's the same on both sides. Now the right one's fine, but the left one, she found it harder to push her leg up. Now that's relevant because muscles can sometimes be inhibited, meaning that it's the nerves from the back that aren't working properly, and that's something that we can correct with chiropractic. This is a straight leg raise test, basic test for lower back pain and sciatica. And another common test is looking at leg length to see if it changes between sessions or after the adjustments. Now sometimes one leg can look longer than the other even though the legs are the same, because there are tighter muscles on one side or the pelvis is rotated, but it's definitely something we want to try to correct if we can. Now I'm going to give her an adjustment in her lower back, so I pops her on her side, and I'm going to find the vertebrae that needs releasing, that needs moving, L4 in this case, and give it a little nudge like that, and you normally hear a clicking noise, and that's just gas coming out the joints, and it means that the joint's freed up and moved. So after the adjustment, I'm going to check it again because I want to make sure that the adjustment had the desired effect. In this case, yep, that's good. So the muscle strength has returned. So now she's got normal muscle strength in those muscles on both sides. Now, if you've got a weakness on one side or the other, and especially in the major muscle groups around the legs and the lower back, that's a common reason why people hurt themselves doing something every day like putting their socks on, because the back's just not being stabilized properly. So this is an important reason why we like to check these things. Now I'm looking down the rest of her back, feeling for how the vertebrae are moving and also the muscles around it. Chiropractors and osteopaths are very well trained at finding restrictions, so finding vertebrae that aren't moving properly and then freeing them up and getting them moving the way they're meant to. So I'm feeling for restrictions on one side or the other, but also for symmetry and how the muscles are, if they're very tight on one side compared to the other, for example. I'm going to do some more muscle testing. So this time for the glute muscles, the gluteals, very important muscles at the back of the hip. So asking her to lift her leg, push up against resistance, and this time I find that she's weaker on the right. Now we're going to get a bit technical. So now I'm going to see if I can change that by challenging any of the vertebrae that I found that were restricted in her back. And if I press against a restricted vertebrae and all of a sudden that changes the muscle strength, then I know that that vertebrae is influencing that muscle. And if I adjust it, I might be able to restore normal strength into the muscle, which is what I'm going to try to do. So I've just given her a little press on the vertebrae there, so I know that that's the one that I want to adjust. So ask her to breathe in and breathe out. Again, a little click like that, and now I'm going to retest it. Okay, and the muscle's strong. Now sometimes it's a bit of trial and error. You've got to do a couple of adjustments to find out what's effective, what's going to strengthen the muscle or restore normal movement back to it. But if we get everything working properly again and the muscles are strong, then that's a great result for today.